Right now on Denver 7 News at 5 o'clock, it is a weather action day. This is what you're waking up to at this hour as we take a live look across downtown, which you can't see right now. This is from our Mile High camera. The snow is still coming down, and it could make for a messy morning drive. Thanks for joining us on this Denver 7 Weather Action Day. I'm Brian Sanders.
And I'm Nicole Brady. All of the metro area school districts are closed today because of the weather. I mean, Denver, Douglas County, Adams 12, Aurora, Jeffco, just to name a few. We have the full list scrolling at the bottom of your screen. You can also check for your district on the denverchannel.com and the Denver 7 Plus app.
Yeah, so hit the snooze button if you don't have to get the kids ready for school. Our team is spread out across the Front Range. We're checking on conditions in your neighborhood. Jason Luber, of course, keeping a track of the roads, which are a mess right now. I want to start with meteorologist Lisa Hidalgo, though, with how much more snow is coming because we just had a heavy band move through.
We did. It brought a lot of snow to portions of Denver, and now it's rolling east, in fact, toward the airport. I'll show it to you right here, that darker area, bringing a big burst of snow. So you're going to find in some areas, if you're driving from south to north, where those roads do get bad in spots and then will look a little bit better in others. We are expecting another 2 to about 4 inches of snow here this morning. Here's a look at some of that additional snowfall through the afternoon into the early evening. It is really going to start to lighten up by mid-afternoon. Right now, really seeing our heaviest little burst of some of that snow, most of it falling overnight. So winter storm warnings now cover the entire metro area until late today. We're going to also see a number of winter weather advisories covering the rest of the state. Currently 12 degrees in Denver. So on top of the snow, we're also getting the cold, and it's only going to now stay cold like this, hovering in the teens throughout the day, and then get colder overnight tonight into tomorrow. We're likely going to see temperatures drop down about 5 to 10 degrees below zero early tomorrow morning. So whatever the kids did, Jason, it worked. The ice cubes in the toilet, the spoon under the pillow, the pajamas inside out. All of it worked, and there were a lot of cheers in my house last night, but it's not fun to drive on.
No, it's not. And there are some areas that aren't even plowed. So CDOT might say, yeah, we got plow drivers out, and okay. I haven't seen it. And there were some areas trying to get off the highways. There were some areas of I-25 between, Yale and Evans and getting up to Lincoln Street. Not plowed, and trying to get off the highway was a real adventure. So these are some of the areas. It's I-25 over by University, and you can see 225 at I-70 over here. There's Highway 85 and Vasquez over there, I-76, and then the drive up to the north side of 104th. Take a look at the other quad split. You can see the different road conditions. Actually, they have I-25 open up by Berthoud. If you hear it's closed, it's not. Down by Castle Pines Parkway, basically between Ridgegate, the southern edge of the Denver Tech Center, all the way to Baptist in the Springs, there is a chain law in effect for the truckers down there, so they will be running their chains. The rest of the drive, obviously, you can see the snow cover down here at 225 and Parker Road, where we have a new crash down here as well. Take a look at the overall map. Obviously slower than average conditions for you anywhere you want to go. So the drive times are up. Speeds are averaging in the 40s. 30s in some areas off the side streets. Obviously, it's going to be a little tougher. I'm not so sure that we're seeing 50s there on the drive to or from DIA, and that one crash at 225 and Parker Road going to slow you down just a little bit. But obviously, we're seeing much lighter than normal traffic in most areas because so many government offices, schools, and businesses are going to be closed or be working remotely. Veronica Acosta down here along Wadsworth, right there, basically between Alameda and Mississippi, right there at a nice hill there, Veronica, where a lot of folks have a tough time. And yesterday, they even had that section of roadway closed because it was so tough.
And they've had a little bit of a tough time this morning as well, Jason. Not too bad, though. Some of those drivers definitely taking their time, going a bit slower than they normally would to get up the hill here on Wadsworth and Ohio and be safe and as safe as they can. First off, the drive over here, we came from downtown Denver. That wasn't too bad. Those main highways, those main roads, they'd been plowed at least once, so that's the good news. But in this area, we're going to show you how much snow we've gotten. It's a good amount. This is disturbed from us, of course, but this is a good amount of powder here to get down to the actual sidewalk. And the falling snow, it's coming down at, we have some wind, so it is whipping us a bit. You can see it on the light there. It's light, but it is coming down. So let's show you some of these drivers. For the most part, they've been going about 10 to 15 miles an hour as they come up the hill here. And that is because even though these roads have been plowed at least once, we can see that here. It's still there's still some accumulation on the ground. It's still a bit slippery, so they're taking it as slow as possible. We do want to mention some of those smaller side streets. We did turn on one of those to get back here. Those have not been plowed this morning, at least adjacent to the area where we are near Wadsworth in Ohio. So if you're living in one of these neighborhoods, just something to be mindful of as you start waking up this morning. We're in Lakewood. I'm Veronica Acosta, Denver 7.
All right. Thank you, Veronica. Well, a lot of the streets in Denver are tough driving right now. I mean, the highways are bad, which means the side streets are even worse. The plows just haven't gotten to them yet, and the snow is covering up any of their work right back up. We've seen as many as 6 inches of snow overnight downtown. Let's
get out to Denver 7's Colette Bordelon. She's at 16th and Grant right here downtown Denver. Colette, how's it looking out there?
It's definitely really snowy out here. The roads are packed. You can tell on these sidewalks just how much snow we've gotten. It's pretty high in places. Definitely some good drifts out here. And then over here on the road, you can tell that cars have driven through this. It's honestly not as bad as some of the side streets I've seen this morning. Some of those neighborhood roads are definitely really deep in there in the snow. We've got some cars coming through very slowly. We've actually got some people. Actually, I've seen some that look like they're going to the gym. They're headed out. Everyone walking, though, trying to take their time out here. It is pretty slick. Like Veronica was mentioning, I mean, those main roads like 25 are better, but honestly, what I experienced wasn't great on 25 between 20th and Spear. It was pretty dense snow, and I was nervous my car was actually going to get caught. So four-wheel drive definitely recommended if you've got it, because this is some serious snow, a big difference from last week's snowstorm, in my opinion. So you can see some people out here walking still, actually going about their day, picking to walk on the road because there's less snow there than there is on the sidewalks. We'll be watching these road conditions for you all morning. Stick with us to see what else you need to know before you head out.
Yeah,
Live in Denver, Colette Bordelon, Denver 7.
Colette, we saw your boots are the short ones. You need the high snow boots today because, that snow is deep. I had to walk through the ruts myself just into our building through the parts where people had already driven. CDOT plow drivers have been out, of course, for hours now. They're working in 12-hour shifts, 12 on, 12 off.
In the metro area proper, it's going to be a little over 100 plows, which is our normal complement. Because this storm is going to stretch, really from Wyoming down to New Mexico, we'll have another 100 or so plows up in the northern Front Range area, and another 100 or so, working from Colorado Springs, all the way down to Raton Pass on the New Mexico line.
It's a big area to cover. CDOT says it has more than 100 new plow drivers, so now is a good time to remember to give those drivers room to work.
We've seen plows hit with people who, are following too close, are trying to pass in front of plows as they're trying to clear roads. Just do that common sense thing. Keep a little bit of distance. Pace yourselves behind them if possible. Frankly, it's the safest place to be on the road on something that's just been cleared.
And their best advice, if you can just work from home today, is a good day to do that. Like CDOT, the city of Denver has its plow drivers on a 12-hour on, 12-hour off schedule. The city has deployed the big plows on the main streets and smaller plows for residential side streets.
What they'll do is they'll take a single pass down the center of each side street. What they do is help provide a path for residents to get from their side streets to the main streets. They also help prevent deep ice rutting.
And the residential plows are set to run from 3 a.m. until 3 p.m. today.
Pretty incredible winter storm, though, stretching across the country from New England all the way down to New Mexico, even into parts of Mexico. And it's impacting flights in and out of DIA. Of course, we checked FlightAware right now. There are 129 cancellations already today. 10 delays, so not only check with your flight, but be careful heading out to the airport if you're headed that way. Here's Lisa.
Yeah, likely lots of de-icing going on out there today for the flights that do get out of here. It's a Denver 7 weather action day, obviously. When you look out the window, you can see why. We're going to be in the teens, low teens this morning. Snow will continue to fall. It's going to start to lighten up, it looks like, a little later today, but then those temps aren't going to move much. We'll be likely in the mid to upper teens this afternoon. Bitter cold tonight. I'm going to show you how much more snow we're expecting and how cold it's going to get tomorrow morning coming up.
And obviously very light traffic. So many government offices either delayed or closed. Schools obviously closed down. This is 285 west of C470. This is the southbound side, or the inbound side, the westbound side, if you will, of 285. And it's closed down. They say there's several accidents in there. And then that outbound side, or the eastbound side, technically northbound on 285. They say it's closed, but obviously you see some traffic passing Parbley Gulch here coming down to C470. So changing road conditions and obviously a lot of snow for us to the west.
Well, you can keep following our forecast and the road conditions anytime. Just download the free Denver 7 Plus app to your streaming or mobile device. We have a 24/7 weather stream there, and we also send push alerts when there are major crashes you need to know about. Just download it right now to Roku, Amazon Fire, Apple, or Android. Tesla is facing scrutiny from federal safety experts. The new recall over a questionable part of its self-driving feature.
The Broncos are facing a new lawsuit. How the team is responding this morning to claims of racial discrimination. And hopefully a lot of you are not having to battle this today. Just stay home if you can. Our crews, of course, had to get up and out the door this morning, and they shared these videos from all over the Front Range. Pretty much anywhere you go, the roads are snow covered. We want to see your snow photos and videos, though, maybe some fun ones. You can share those right now to the Discover Colorado Through Your Photos Facebook page. We'll be right back.